Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. Today, we are going to be examining obscured truth through the wonderful world of masks. Now, masks are a fantastic artistic ally, because when incorporated properly, they immediately make a character stand out, and often leave that hint of mystery in the minds of those viewing them. Throughout its long history, One Piece has made use of masks on numerous occasions, and today we are going to highlight some of the best masks to ever appear in the series. To be considered a mask, something simply needs to be a device designed to obscure a face. I don't care why a character is wearing a mask, only that there is a mask. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Welcome to the top 5 masks in One Piece. Number 5. Thrifty Bobbin. Despite making his debut in the series at the end of the Fishman Island arc, Bobbin is considered a recent addition to the One Piece world, playing a minor role in the Whole Cake Island arc. But we don't care about that. What we care about is the fact that he is immediately distinguishable because he has a piece of fabric hanging over the top of his face that we are going to label as a mask. Now personally, I love this mask based off originality alone. I might just be an ignorant manga fan, but I can't recall ever having seen anything quite like this in my life before, and it's just so simple. It literally is a rectangle of fabric draped straight down Bobbin's face with some eye holes, as well as a third hole that is far too small for his mouth. But just to do the mask proper justice, it does actually include dark glasses which obscure Bobbin's eyes. I imagine that the shape of the mask is deliberate and helps with his hypnosis ability somehow, and if so, that's pretty cool. But in terms of pure, simple design, this mask absolutely makes this character. Without it, Bobbin would just look like another fodder villain. But he doesn't. And all because of his sleek and simple masquerade. Number 4. Vice Admiral Bastille. Here we have another example of a character who is nothing without his mask. Now I can't give you a good reason why, but I really like Bastille. And I know I just said this, but I honestly can't give a good reason. His character is fairly bland, he's never really done much, but I can't help but enjoy seeing him whenever he pops up, and I think that's all in the mask. In fact, this mask encapsulates Bastille so much that his defeat at the hands of Sabo was signified entirely through Sabo breaking his mask. And I'm just naturally much more intrigued by Bastille than the other Vice Admirals like say Doberman or John Giant, simply because Bastille wears a mask. It makes me want to know what he's hiding and why he chose that particular mask, which is pretty cool and unique. It has 14 eye holes, which, you know, just what the hell's that all about, but it makes for a nice texture. The horns also do very well to evoke a violent Viking like feel, which makes sense given that the giant culture in One Piece borrows so much from the Nordic world. So with that in mind, Bastille, your mask is indeed worthy of the number 4 spot. Number 3. Killer. Moving swiftly from ancient Vikings and straight into modern day, we have Killer's daft punk-inspired facial wear. Now I have to say that Killer is one of my most often forgotten about members of the worst generation, primarily because he's the only member other than Zoro who isn't a captain. So I spend no time at all thinking about Killer whatsoever. However, whenever Kid appears in the series, it's always a really pleasant surprise that Killer is also there. Now, if we want to get technical, this is more of a helmet than a mask, but I really don't care, because it accomplishes the same goals. It deliberately obscures him and makes him infinitely mysterious. It's also a pretty extreme mask in comparison to the others we featured so far, and it makes me wonder if he can actually take it off or if it's stuck on for some reason. Then again, apparently one of Killer's hobbies is cooking, which begs the question of exactly how he eats his dishes if he can't take it off. Whatever the case, it's one cool mask and worthy of recognition. Number 2. Duvall. So I never expected Duvall to ever appear in a top 5 best list for any reason, but I have to admit that his mask is actually pretty damn amazing. Like Killer's, I suppose it's more of a helmet, but we've established that we don't care for semantics. The design and detail of this facial obscuration device is just that fantastic. I love the flames and the ever-shrinking circles across the side, and I particularly love the cross-shaped eye holes. It's a really intimidating mask actually, probably the most intimidating mask on this list, and I have to believe that it was designed this way on purpose because this mask gave way to one of the greatest moments of comedy that One Piece has ever had. Because behind this incredibly badass mask, there is a fairly wimpy man who looks exactly like Sanji's poorly drawn wanted poster. And this joke would not have been anywhere near as funny if not for the misdirection provided by this wonderful mask. So I think that's a pretty good reason to slot it in at number 2. Number 1. Saga King. Sitting in first place, we have the mask of the Sniper King himself. Now, while it has a lovely design inspired by classic Venetian mask, it sits so high on this list because the feat this mask accomplishes is nothing short of miraculous. Get this mask actually managed to make pre-time skip Usopp look cool. Now, as a character, I love Usopp, but I can't say the same for his design, especially prior to the time skip. However, as soon as this mask became part of Usopp and he evolved into Saga King, he became one of my favorite characters of the entire Enies Lobby arc. And it was just glorious to see Usopp shine and thrive both comedically and dramatically behind the guise of Saga King. But that's not all this mask had to give us. Unlike our previous entries, the Saga King mask was at its most powerful in the moment that it was removed. Usopp's revelation, well, revelation to Luffy anyway, served as one of the most memorable instances in an arc full of extraordinarily powerful moments. The Saga King mask revealed a new Usopp, almost as if he was a caterpillar who has gone through his metamorphosis to become a butterfly. And yes, that is a really wanky metaphor to use, but it's true. The Usopp who emerged from behind the Saga King mask was not the same Usopp who originally put it on. And that is why the Saga King mask, at least in my mind, is the #1 undisputed mask in all of One Piece. And that about does it for the top 5 masks in One Piece. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to like, favorite, or subscribe, and please do comment with your own favorite masks. This has been the Grand Line Review, and I'll see you next time.